custody at this point in time. His charges are directly connected with the actions of his son and allowing him to possess a weapon.
Developing tonight, a new arrest in Georgia's deadly school shooting investigation. Now the suspect's father also in custody. Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Greg Lee. Details of this arrest came as we learn more today about the victims who died in this shooting. Investigators spoke about the arrest late this afternoon.
He is charged with the following: 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. Mr. Gray, these charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
This is the newest example of prosecutors holding parents responsible for their children's alleged actions in school shootings. Colin Gray's second-degree murder charges are punishable by 10 to 30 years in prison. Authorities have charged his son, 14-year-old Colt Gray, as an adult with murder in the shootings. New details are emerging about the 14-year-old suspect through public records requests. Last year, Colt Gray and his father received a visit from Jackson County Sheriff's investigators. They were looking into an FBI tip. A tipster reported that Colt Gray made a threat to shoot up the school on the social gaming site Discord. According to incident reports, the then 13-year-old told investigators he did not make the threats. We're also learning more tonight about the victims who died in this tragedy. People are remembering 14-year-old Mason Schermerhorn as someone who was inquisitive since he was a little boy. Christian Angolo's sister called her 14-year-old brother sweet and so caring. Richard Aspinwall is one of the teachers who died. He taught math at Appalachia High School and coached football. Loved ones say he was a great man who loved his daughters and wife. Christina Irmi is the other teacher who died. She also taught math. A friend says she was active in the expat community after immigrating from Romania. 9 other students and staff who were wounded in the shooting are expected to survive. First responders say a newly installed security system at Appalachia High School helped prevent more lives from being lost during yesterday's shooting. Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna shows us how it works.
The ability to instantly report emergencies.
1 week. That's how long teachers had crisis alert badges that played a role in law enforcement's quick response to the active shooter at Appalachia High School.
All of our teachers are armed with a form of an ID called Centegix, and it alerts us that there is an active situation at the school for whatever reason, and that was pressed.
Push the button on your crisis alert badge until the alert is activated.
The badges look like these shown on Centegix company video. The crisis alert system is for medical, weather emergencies, and in the case of Appalachia High School, a student shooter.
This type of alert immediately notifies the local safety team, district personnel, and all local law enforcement.
Teachers triggered the alert, which brought out 2 resource officers within minutes. The shooter immediately surrendered.
We know we need to do more. We want to do more.
Ryan Foran represents the only school district that responded to our request to talk about the state of school security in our area. He says his district is pushing for more money in the form of a $358 million bond measure to improve security systems. He says he's not aware of Centegix, but says the district has looked at other technology like apps.
What's the cost? Is it realistic to use in a crisis, or are we going to default to our training? Are we, so we're always open to those ideas because the more technology advances, the safer we can get our kids. We are open to those. So we've explored a lot.
That was Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna reporting. Today, President Biden called on Congress to help ease gun violence by reforming gun laws.
Some of my Republican friends in Congress just finally have to say enough is enough. We have to do something. Together, let's ban assault weapons. My dad is a hunter. I don't know a whole hell of a lot of deer wearing Kevlar vests. I'm serious about this. High-capacity magazines, once again, what do we need them for in terms of domestic use? There are too many people who are able to access guns that shouldn't be able to. So let's require safe storage of firearms. I know I have mine locked up.
The president made those comments during a trip to Wisconsin to discuss energy policy. He also called for universal background checks and laws to end immunity for gun manufacturers. You can find the latest updates from Georgia on our website, westcoastwrap.com. Our online coverage includes profiles of the victims who died. Prosecutors in Colorado say a man who shot 10 people to death at a supermarket in Boulder was sane at the time of the rampage. Prosecutors told the jury the accused gunman, Ahmad Al-Aliwi Alisa, prepared, planned, and went to the King Superstore to execute people. He has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity for the 2021 shooting. His lawyers do not dispute that he was the shooter. His trial will determine if he was legally sane at the time. Alisa was diagnosed with schizophrenia after the massacre. If he is found not guilty by reason of insanity, he could avoid prison and be committed to a mental hospital indefinitely. No relief from the heat in parts of the West. This is a live look at Phoenix, where temperatures soared above 110 degrees this afternoon. That makes today the 56th time temperatures in the city have hit 110 degrees this year. That's a new record. Let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who can tell us how long this heat will stick around. Mark.
Hi there, Greg. Yeah, still talking about the heat. Unfortunately, the stretch continues, and take a look at all these real toasty temperatures in the Phoenix area. As you can see, 107, 108, 110 degrees, and today 116 degrees. So obviously the heat was building in today in the Phoenix area. It's not only out toward Arizona, even in Southern California, Los Angeles. Look at this, 102 degrees this afternoon. So extreme heat even down in Southern California. That is a toasty forecast, or a toasty temperature for today, for Thursday, and the heat will continue as we head into your Friday. Take a look at some more hot temperatures for today. Palm Springs, 121 degrees. Sacramento, 103. Even up in Portland, Oregon, 102 degrees. So a lot of triple digits up and down the coast of the West Coast. And all these areas in red, we have excessive heat warnings. All these areas in yellow, we have heat advisories in place. So the heat continues to be the big weather story. In terms of the active weather with the showers and the thunderstorms right now, you can see watching these clouds and the showers drifting out of Colorado into portions of New Mexico. That's where we have the focal point right now with the clouds and the showers. In Seattle today with a hot 90 degrees, a lot of haze in their sky as well. Some wildfire smoke has been kind of moving around the Pacific Northwest, so air quality not the greatest, but it's a warm pattern. Temperatures 90 degrees. In San Francisco, this looks refreshing. A temperature of 71 degrees this afternoon. The fog out toward the coast and right around the Bay shoreline. And then, of course, there's that real extreme heat in Phoenix, 116 degrees this afternoon. Taking a look at some current numbers right now. Las Vegas is 102 degrees. Los Angeles, that's at the airport, in the mid-70s. Reno's 89. And look at Portland, Oregon, still 93 degrees. It's a hot evening up there. The Friday forecast, it is still hazy and warm in Seattle for tomorrow. Temperatures in the 80s. Lots of sunshine for Denver. It's warm to hot for the Bay Area. Temperatures in the 70s in San Francisco. But head inland, the hottest locations will be topping out to right around 100 degrees. That'll be the case in Los Angeles. And once again, another hot day in the Phoenix area for tomorrow. This says Thursday was actually the Friday forecast for tomorrow. And as you can see here, the temperatures, the breakdown for tomorrow for Friday, and San Jose in the lower 90s. Palmdale, Santa Clarita, 108, 113 degrees, and Scottsdale, 109 degrees. So in terms of the forecast, we are showing you this with the clouds and the showers. Not a lot to show you. The low clouds and fog still somewhat of a factor near the California coastline, especially from the Bay Area up towards Eureka, up towards southern Oregon. And here is the breakdown in terms of temperatures and the conditions for Seattle. It's another warm day, upper 80s. The heat advisory continues for tomorrow. In San Francisco, some areas of fog in the morning. Southern California, close to 100 degrees. And out toward Phoenix, once again, still talking about temperatures way up above 100 degrees for your Friday forecast and also into the weekend. Greg.
Yeah, the heat continues, Mark. Thank you. For a second straight day, Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance has his focus on the West's battleground state of Arizona.
I bring a message from Donald J. Trump. If you were in this country illegally, in 6 months, pack your bags because you're going home. We are going to stop catch and release, and we're going to stop giving Medicare benefits and health care benefits to illegal aliens. They deserve to go to American citizens, not to people who have no right to be in this country.
Senator Vance rallied voters this afternoon in Phoenix, pushing former President Trump's plan to address immigration issues. The former president kept his focus on the economy today with a speech before the Economic Club of New York.
4 straight years I fought for American workers like I would fight for my own family. I took care of our economy like I would take care of my own company. In every decision I asked, Will I create jobs here, or will I be sending jobs overseas?
Vice President Harris spoke more about her economic plan yesterday. Some of what she wants to do includes helping people start businesses and raising taxes for wealthy Americans. Vice President Harris arrived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania today to prepare for next week's presidential debate. She's expected to stay there until Tuesday's face-off with former President Trump. Her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, is campaigning in the same state today. He spoke with voters this afternoon outside an ice cream shop in Erie and held a rally. We now have a better idea tonight of what's to expect from next week's presidential debate. Both candidates will be standing at podiums. They will not be allowed to use notes. Answers and rebuttals will be limited to 2 minutes. There will be no live audience. Microphones will be switched on or off depending on whose turn it is to speak, and the candidates will not deliver opening remarks. They will have an opportunity to offer a closing statement. The debate will take place Tuesday at Philadelphia's National Constitution Center. That's within walking distance of Independence Hall. Cameras have already spotted equipment being hauled into the center to get ready for the event. The debate will approximately be 90 minutes long and hosted by ABC News. Neighborhoods that resemble scenes right out of the Jetsons. Coming up, developers begin work to build one in the West. And from lockup to the art world, see how some Arizona inmates are expressing themselves. Construction is now underway in New Mexico on a state-funded reproductive health and abortion clinic meant to serve neighboring states. The facility will be in Las Cruces, offering medical services ranging from contraception to cervical cancer screenings and education on adoption. The construction will pull from about $10 million that was set aside by the governor in 2022. It is unclear when the new clinic will open. A trial is underway in Las Vegas for the man who jumped over the bench and attacked a judge in court. The viral attack happened January 3rd. Judge Mary Kay Holtis had just announced she was sentencing Diabra Redden to prison rather than probation on a charge of attempted battery. That's when Redden jumped over the bench and attacked the judge. He's now accused of attempted murder and has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. A big twist in the ongoing legal troubles for Hunter Biden. He pleaded guilty to federal tax charges and will avoid a criminal trial. The son of President Biden was accused of failing to pay at least $1.4 million in taxes from 2016 to 2019. According to an indictment, during that time, he spent large sums of money on drugs, escorts and girlfriends, luxury hotels and rental properties, exotic cars, clothing, and other items of a personal nature. Biden's attorney addressed reporters after the guilty plea.
Hunter decided to enter his plea to protect those he loves from unnecessary hurt and cruel humiliation. This plea prevents that kind of show trial that would have not provided all the facts or served any real point in justice.
Hunter Biden remains free on bond. He will be sentenced December 16th. The charges carry up to 17 years in prison, although it is unlikely he will get the full amount. Lawmakers in California are cracking down on tech companies testing their self-driving cars in the state. The state assembly has passed a new bill aimed at addressing concerns about accountability when one of these self-driving vehicles is involved in a crash. The first of its kind bill would require companies behind these cars to report crashes and malfunctions to the state DMV, which would make the data public, a move supported by many California drivers.
Should be on the company for their autonomous vehicle violating some sort of traffic law, but instead, oh, it's fine. We don't get in trouble.
Lawmakers say the legislation is needed since California has not updated its DMV regulations since 2018. But since then, they have authorized trials for more than 40 different companies. Developers in Utah are working to build a new community that looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. Fox 13's Dan Evans reports their vision would have many people ditching cars for drone taxis.
I know to many people it sounds too futuristic, and they refer to it as the Jetson concept.
The Jetsons prognosticated this technology way back in the 60s. But planners at the 600-acre residential and commercial development at the point of the mountain in Draper think it's finally time to look seriously at moving people in drones.
When you're trying to look to the future downstream 20 years, 30 years, it only makes sense that you plan for this potential.
The Point co-chair Lowry Snow says it's more than a possibility.
And I'm going to say strong probability that we're going to see that actually come to pass and be a mode of transportation at this location.
Snow says this is the perfect spot to do this, located right between Metro Salt Lake City and Metro Utah County.
It's exciting because it is a place to create just not an environment to capture some futuristic idea that doesn't exist, but to capture a future idea that's going to support this kind of a project that is directed towards innovation and technology.
This new development will bring tens of thousands of people to an area already clogged with cars and packed with people. As part of the deal with the state to develop this site along the I-15 corridor, the legislature directed planners to pursue transportation innovation here.
The mandate placed on the board for us to look at the best methods of transportation to improve quality of life and also protect our air. Those are all important things.
The technology is well on its way. The same aerospace engineers studying the point are already looking at this in other locations around the world.
It would be a shame, for example, 10 years from now, for someone to say, too bad that leadership didn't look at this issue because we could have really used it now, and now it's built out or a good share of it's built out. We want to be ahead of that issue.
The point includes commercial buildings, retail, entertainment venues, large pieces of open space, and housing. And while it will probably include drone taxis and vertiports,
I may be homely, Buster, but I'm S-M-A-R-T smart.
robot maids to do the chores are not on the list.
Well, thanks for the chance.
That was Fox 13's Dan Evans reporting. Land for the development is about halfway between Salt Lake City and Provo. A construction worker who got trapped in a Southern California trench is safe tonight. Firefighters spent most of the afternoon working to get the man out of an 8-foot trench along a hillside in Los Angeles. He was surrounded by soil at or above his waist. Firefighters say the man stayed conscious and alert through the rescue effort. He was taken to a hospital for evaluation. Still to come on West Coast rap, country music star Jelly Roll took his show to a more intimate setting this week. His personal message for men in a prison yard. And for inmates in Arizona, rehabilitation through art, the innovative program providing creative outlets and healing.
They ran off the stage like something was horribly wrong. Show cause. Oh man, something's up.
A Green Day show in Detroit came to an abrupt halt on Wednesday night. Video posted on Storyful shows the scene after the band with Bay Area roots was whisked off the stage by security. Some fans thought it was part of the show, but TMZ tells us it turns out someone was flying a drone over the stage.
Police were able to locate the person who had launched the drone. And obviously, once they found the person and the drone, they determined there was no danger to the band or the audience members.
The show was on hold for about 10 minutes before resuming. TMZ says that since the terror threat against Taylor Swift shows in Vienna, organizers have been focused on security at large outdoor venues. Country music star Jelly Roll just took his act to the Oregon State Penitentiary. In a post to Instagram, he shared how he had a chance to entertain inmates at the prison in Salem. He says it was the first live music in the prison yard in 20 years. Jelly Roll, who was incarcerated in his youth, thinks he has a good understanding of what the inmates are going through. He told the crowd he was glad to go back behind a wall and sing. Some inmates in Arizona are being given a chance to take part in a first-of-its-kind program in the country. Fox 10's Anita Roman shows us how it's helping them express themselves and develop new skills.
All right, here we go.
A blank canvas. It's a chance to start something new. For the men serving a sentence at Lewis Prison, it could very well lead to an opportunity to start over.
The big part is being able to actually express ourselves and be seen as people. Like, we're not just a number.
Eric McBee has been incarcerated for 12 years.
When I was 16, I had a bad choice of friends.
Those choices led to murder charges.
We're all humans at the end of the day. We're all capable of change, and if we just live as a criminal, we're going to come out as a criminal. And then that doesn't help anyone, us or society.
The idea of lock them up and throw away the key and expect them to get better and changed humans by the time they're released, those days are gone. That does not work. And what I tell people is after they're done serving their time in prison, they have every right to re-enter our society. And don't you want that person to be healed and not reoffend, not commit any more crimes, not hurt their children, to pass down generational trauma?
Brandon Lee is founder and CEO of Art of Our Soul.
I'm a survivor of child sex abuse and neglect. I got into art and music healing myself after a battle with addiction that nearly took me out and ended my life.
Lee says he created Art of Our Soul as a way for people to reconnect with their inner child, to heal them from their childhood trauma, the same way he healed and saved himself.
I left my job and just created an art healing studio for trauma survivors. I started working with men and women who were in prison for decades. They started coming to my studio and I saw the change happening in real time. I saw them healing in real time. And so I went to the director of prisons and I said, I want to do something that's never been done before. He goes, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to build Art of Our Soul studios on your highest risk prison yards. And he looked at me and goes, are you serious? And I said, I am, and he goes, let's do this thing.
My approach to leading corrections is a little bit different. I'm a little bit more risk tolerant to, try new things, discard some of our old practices.
Ryan Thornell, Director of Department of Corrections, Rehabilitation and Reentry, took the position in January of 2023. At the time, he says the unit where the art room is housed was vacant. Programs that facilitated therapeutic interactions and interventions didn't exist.
The hope is that a different environment, a better environment, will produce better outcomes.
Group sessions will take place daily. 15 inmates will attend each class. 32-year-old Samuel Major is serving time for his second offense, but says he's learning new skills so he doesn't go back a third time.
I'm gonna go to New Freedom and get a skill and better myself, and I'm gonna be on probation, IPS, so that's something that grounds me, you know what I mean? So this is something to do on my spare time.
An art studio just like this one is under construction in Perryville Prison. Should open within the next several months. Anita Roman, Fox 10 News.
Pretty incredible program there. Finally tonight, a house crushed by a giant tree is on the market in a Los Angeles suburb. The property is listed as a one-bedroom, one-bath bungalow for $500,000. If that seems high, consider this: only half of the bungalow is still standing. Fortunately, no one was hurt when a large tree fell on top of the house back in May. Since the house is more than 50 years old, city rules state house hunters can buy what's left of the home and fix it up without dealing with some of the regulations typically required during rebuilds. California real estate for you. Thanks for joining us tonight. A reminder, you can stay up to date on all the stories we're covering online. Just go to westcoastwrap.com and stream all of our shows by your smart TV by downloading that Fox local app. Have a great night, everyone.